Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Zoomin With Zack, possibly the last one of 2020. I don't know. Maybe I'll squeeze another one in. We'll see. But I have another awesome guest, and I can't wait to get right into it. So we're not even going to waste time today. We're going to jump right in. Lego. What's up, everybody? Again, welcome to another Zooming with Zack. Excited to introduce you to another amazing rock star that I've met throughout my years. And before I bring on this awesome guest, got another trivia question for you. I shouldn't say trivia. That's not the right word. It's actually just a stupid joke. But I'm curious what y'all think it is. Question is, why can't Cinderella play football? We had to go World Cup a little bit with this due to the championship game coming up. But yeah, who thinks they know the answer? Why can't Cinderella play football or soccer for those who are dumb? Put your answers in the chat. We'll see who's right, and I will let you know at the end of the show. But before we get to that, I have an awesome guest to introduce you to. It's funny because we were chatting a little bit about our origin story and where we met and connected, and we're not even 100% sure. But we know we're both good people, and we like connecting folks, and, you know, got to do a show and bring her on so y'all can meet the awesome Karin Wolok. Look, see, I tried it, Karin. I tried it.
It's okay. I screw it up too, so I don't even know.
Awesome,
I'll pronounce it differently from one another. So.
Fair. Thank you so much for coming on. How you living?
I'm good. I love your intro video. It's so cute with all like your little Bitmoji guys.
For sure. You saw the one with the mask too. I started this during the pandemic, so I had to have my mask shots.
You know what's funny? You said that this might be one of the last episodes in 2020.
Oh, I didn't say 2022. Oh, shows.
I was like, wow, 20. But you know what though? There is some kind of weird blend in those years where you're just like, I don't know, it's 2020. Like, I bet most people didn't even pick up on it.
No. And that goes to your intuitiveness. You would pick up on it because you're on point like that. Tell people a little bit about yourself, why you were so on point. Break down who Karin is.
I drink a lot of coffee. I'm just kidding. I drink matcha. No, oh my God, I got so obsessed with matcha lattes right like recently. Like I got a little blendery thing with frother. Sure, I'll tell people about myself. So let's see. I used to work in the music industry. I think when you and I met, Zach, we were both, I was working in entertainment at the time, doing like rap music stuff, marketing. And then I eventually transitioned into working in tech, and not just regular tech. I started working in like on really technical products. So this is super meta, but it's like I work on software that's built for software developers. So when people build apps, like your website or like, you know, the platform that you're using to stream, or LinkedIn, actually the last company I worked with stemmed out of LinkedIn, but the developers who build these web applications and massive software pieces, when they build them, they pick what tools they want to use to build this platform based on what they're doing.
Right.
So I work in like the databases kind of space, but it's databases for software developers. So I somehow transitioned into that, and I love it. And I work with early stage startup companies, you know, like seed stage, Series A, like people who are like raising money, just building their company off the ground. And, you know, I just offer a perspective, I guess, that's not traditional to software development.
I hear you. And so you said you love it. What do you love the most about it being in that space?
That's a great question. One, I think, and you actually could probably relate to this a little bit too, but like in entertainment, when I was working in entertainment, I mean, I made a lot of great friends that I'm still friends with now. But it was just very like, you know, like, who do you know? Like, you can't just go to any event that you want. And it was very like, you know, you have to rub elbows with the right people. And in tech, it's not really like that. Like, it's like, are you nice? And like, yes, you're welcome. Come join us. It's very, very welcoming and super warm, especially with like the software development community. And there's this, like, I'm going to explain it bare bones because I think there's some people who don't even know what open source is, but open source is just basically free software, free whatever, right? Free software. And software developers, they are really big on open source. So they build things that they spend a lot of time and energy on it, and then they give it to everyone else to use for free. And that kind of blew my mind. I'm like, what? You come from music. We don't do that, you know?
Right.
Who just like makes stuff that, I mean, eventually it goes for free, and you think about it in the marketing perspective, but it's really interesting that a lot of like organizations are backing the open source. So I think those are the big things. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but I think those are the ones that kind of really speak to me in terms of the community.
Nice. Now, quick question about that too. So would a platform that comes out as free initially, but then eventually moves to a paid platform, is that still considered open source, I guess, until they make that shift?
That's a good question. So no, open source is like, at least in the developer perspective, is like, it's basically like available code online, like that anybody can access and copy and make, or add to and things like that. That's like kind of the concept of open source, like in a layman's terms kind of thing. What's interesting is a lot of like tech companies in the space that I work in, they have an open source and enterprise version. So normally like there's a part of it that's just available for free. Anybody can use it, whatever. And then they have like kind of a managed solution where like it's really easy to get started. You just plug and play, or you have some people who really help you set things up and they help you manage and maintain it to make sure things don't go wrong. That's the paid version. And sometimes the paid version has additional features or capabilities or something like that. But it's a pretty standard approach that a lot of like companies that are building tools for software developers, it's called developer tools, they'll have an open source product and then they'll also have an enterprise product. Gotcha. And then like the Microsoft of the world, they'll usually go for the enterprise version. Startups or individual developers may or may not go, depending. I mean, there's different ways that they could scale out this enterprise or commercial version of the products, but yeah.
Interesting. I like learning new things on my show, so you put me on.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a new world for me. Like I
would imagine,
dude. Before I worked in tech, I was like, everybody to me who worked on any kind of programming or whatever was just computer person. Literally, that was one bucket. Everybody was computer person. And then I started like listening and talking to software developers, and I realized that it's really philosophical and you actually can pick up on these concepts. Like it's not that hard to understand software architecture and how people build software. I mean, it takes some time and you definitely have to apply yourself, but if you listen and you talk to software developers, you understand things like, so some of the stuff is like directly related to the stuff that we use on a regular basis. So like databases are like, it's basically a bunch of spreadsheets, that are just built for software developers. And, 100%. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it because I could talk a lot about this stuff. And all your people are going to be like, boring. Like,
no, stop. Never for you, because you're also a budding comic. Like, I mean, you got the best of both worlds. You got the boring over here, and every now and then you might dabble with some stand-up. So I love you got the mix of all those awesome vibes together. I think that's
the stand-up's super fun. It was actually something that I didn't expect to like as much. And I was sharing the story with you about like my friend Donnell Rawlings, who is like a pretty famous comedian. He was the one who like, say it again?
Ashy
Larry, right.
Yep.
He was the one who initially was like, you need to do comedy. And like, I don't know, I guess it depends on who you hear it from. It's not that I haven't heard it before, but if you hear it from somebody who's like a super seasoned comedian, who's like, best friends with Dave Chappelle and all these other really like well-known, sought after comedians. He's been in the game for a long time, and he is one of the best stand-up comedians, like on stage stand-up, that I've ever seen.
Right.
He's hilarious. And when someone says something like that to you, you don't necessarily take it lightly. He like pushed it a couple of times. So I tried it and it actually went pretty well, and it was super fun.
That's awesome.
But you learn a lot about even just like structuring the jokes and like what makes people laugh. Like that science is so interesting. It's interesting that I could say something to you and then your body responds with some, like You think about that concept, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it. And now I'm just thinking there might even be another new space for you. Comedy specifically geared towards the tech community. Nobody's doing that.
Interesting.
Think
Um,
about it.
there are some people playing with it, like
Oh
doing
yeah.
like meme-like stuff. Like,
Hmm.
it's so weird, the software development, but there's not a lot of software development directed comedy, but there are some people who kind of do that stuff. Like, there's definitely a culture of like memes and parodies and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of it is like, do you remember like a couple of months ago there was these like the Halloween costumes where it's like, oh, this is like some character and here's what you have to have for the character, and it's like some
Hmm.
picture. You know what I'm talking about? That
Yep.
meme?
Hmm.
They'll have ones like that around software development, and they'll talk
Gotcha.
about like the toolkits that they have and things like that. I mean, but it is an interesting um marketing kind of
Something
opportunity.
something to consider.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
We're gonna jump into our three random questions. So I know your time's tight, so I want to get these out to you.
Okay.
So you're gonna give me a three-digit number, and each number has to be different. And I'm gonna give you three quick questions that you'll answer. So give me what's your lucky three-digit number?
412.
412. Let me give you question number four. A business genie grants you one business wish. What is it?
Oh, interesting. Okay. I guess it would provide me with a business that makes money while I'm sleeping.
Hmm.
Something that's automated.
That is solid. I haven't gotten that one before, and I want that wish too. So
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things that we do, especially like you and I, you offer like services. You have to be there to do it.
right,
It's not like you can make money while you're sleeping.
right. But nah, developing those methods is definitely what I want to do as well. So I'm with you on that one. One, you had 412. So number one, you hit the lottery and you win 100K. How are you spending it? And you cannot give it away or donate it.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean,
Hmm.
I would definitely invest it. Um,
Investing. Yep.
but like where I would invest it, I don't know. I might take a little bit out for like some property and maybe invest something in like the S&P 500 or something. I don't know. I guess like the recession, everything's going down, but like it has a good reputation of like still going up even through,
Hmm.
you know, the history. I don't
So
know. So that's probably some investment, but I'd
I
probably
don't
seek
hear like
out.
all investment. I don't hear like I'm gonna go buy XYZ and go have a good time or nothing. It's all
I mean, listen, I definitely blow money. That's
uh,
But I guess if you get like a bulk of cash, you have to get it to work for you.
there you go. I like it. I like it.
Mhm.
Last question. You had number two. If you could work in another industry or job, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Hmm.
Um,
Good
I
questions
miss
on that.
entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I miss it. It was really fun. It was just fun and exciting, and just. And I have a lot of friends there, so like, I guess maybe I would work in entertainment again.
Hmm.
The money's not as good, especially for like early people in their career.
Hmm.
Um, so I think it takes time to like work your way up the ladder. Um, but I guess it would probably be entertainment, and mostly just because it's fun, live music and live events, they carry this energy. I remember like working in concerts when I worked with Live Nation. It was like every show, people would just leave hyped up and energized, and like, it just has something special about it.
Right. Right. No,
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. And I would like to work in that space too. I moonlighted in that space when I was at Temple, producing some music for a reggae artist. I'll give you that story another day. It didn't go so well, but I tried it. And
Yeah.
before we get out of here, because we're about to close the show, any guesses on my question about Cinderella?
Well, I already Googled it. So
You Googled it.
I did. And it's hilarious. It's a really good
So
it's
you so you're not allowed to guess. I'm gonna make folks at home. I'm gonna ask it again. Why can't Cinderella play football? And since you Googled it, can you give people the answer?
I was sure it was gonna be something about the shoes.
Right.
I was like, I mean, like it's a shoe, right? It's like
Well, a slipper
football
situation.
shoes.
Yeah.
Um, because she's always running from the ball.
Isn't that great
That's
and
a good
cool?
one. I'm not gonna lie, when I read that, I was like, That's a good joke.
Always running from the ball. Yep.
How do you
Listen,
find your dad jokes?
just how you found the answer.
Okay.
Google.
Interesting.
Listen, folks, this is another great episode. Karin, thank you so much for being my guest. And folks, maybe I'll see you again this year in 2022 or not. Might be 23. We'll figure that out soon. But again, super appreciate you being on, and make sure y'all connect with her on all the socials. And I leave it to you to take it away, my dear.
All right. Thanks, Zach. And thanks for hosting this. This was awesome, even though you're gone now. You left me to thank you by myself. But yeah, everyone, thanks for watching. And if you want to find me, you can literally Google my name. I'm the only one with Karin Wolok in the world. So whatever platform is best for you, feel free to connect there. And yeah, maybe see you around.